Get him. Get him. Hit him with a pose. Yeah.
Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy back in HD here, and welcome to another YouTube video. Alright guys, so in today's video we are going to be going over our fullback. So that includes the left backs and the right backs. With going over the left and the right backs, I haven't done this video in a very long time, and I feel like this is the position where I've been slacking on the most. But yeah, so before we get into the video, you guys, I do want to let you guys know that this video or this list is my opinion and my personal opinion only. So if you're using a left back or a right back that's absolutely working for your team, there is no need to change them. This list is just my opinion. All right guys, so we're going to be taking a look at this Theo Hernandez, which is going to be one of the cards on my list. I don't know where he is on the list yet, but we are going to be taking a look at what I look for when I'm choosing a left back or a right back. Okay, so we're going to go into the attributes really quick. One thing I do look for is not only the height, but I also look for the strength and the standing tackle, because those are going to be very important with their recovery and also being strong on the ball, so that way they're not getting beat by wingers, taller wingers, or strikers. And then another thing I am going to be looking for, mainly what we want now with a lot of the left and right backs coming out, they're all having it, is that high work rate. Okay, so medium high is good as well, but the work rate as well is very important for the left or the right back. Now that we've gone over stats like that and what we look for in our fullbacks, we're now going to move into the list, starting with our number 10. All right guys, for our number 10 position, we are going to do Stefan Posch, or Poschik, whichever way you say it. He is over 190 centimeters, so this is going to be our number 10, only for the fact that this card is very universal, and I believe he's good for a lot of the cheap beast team, or if you have a cheap budget, this is going to be the guy to go for. So going into his attributes, we can look at his sprint speed, acceleration, his strength, and then his standing tackle as well. So for a 98 rated card to have 105 standing tackle and 94 strength while being over 6'1", 6'2", is very important. Going into his trait, he does have the long passer trait, and then his work rate is medium high. Unfortunately, he didn't get the upgrade. I don't know if the upgrade's gone out yet, but going into his stamina, he does have the 4-star stamina and 2-star skills. So he is a very defensive right back. Going into his transfer value, this card is like the cheapest card on this list, and like I said, he is a universal card, so everyone should be able to get him. Getting his rank 5 is an absolute must. I don't think you can run this card rank 4 or any lower than that. All right guys, we're now going to be moving into our number 9. Before we continue the video, you guys, I do want to let you guys know we are going to continue with this format of, if it's 2 different positions, we will be doing the bottom 5 left backs and the bottom 5 right back, and then the final top 5 will be a mixture of the two. Okay, so without further ado, let's continue the video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 9 is going to be a left back. Okay, and the left back is going to be none other than the 95 rated, I believe this is the ultimate team of the season, Nuno Mendes. Okay, so I am still waiting for them to release a better card of this guy, but I believe he's currently injured or something like that. He really hasn't been playing a lot of games, so he really hasn't been getting a lot of cards. Going into his summary, okay, so stamina, 4.5-star stamina, 3-star skills, and going into his attributes, like I said, his best attribute is his pace. Standing tackle is really good. Going into his trait, he doesn't have any trait, but he does have the high medium work rate. His recovery is also one of the reasons I found him to be the best, and also he's defensive and offensive. So also going into his transfer value, this card is another cheap beast of a card, so getting his rank 5 is an absolute must. Okay, and then at least training 26. All right, so we're now going to move into our number 8, which is going to be a right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 8 for the right back is going to be Denzel Dumfries. Okay, so he's been doing very well in real life, so hopefully he gets an upgrade on his card. But this card was very solid for me. I did use this card, and he's still very solid. This is the Euros version, however. Hopefully he gets like a nominee card very soon, or, you know, he gets a better card than what he currently has. The reason I use this card is pretty much because of he's very strong, 5-star stamina, 2-star skills, another defensive monster. Going into his attributes, as you can see, his strength and his recovery is where he shines the most. Standing tackle, sliding tackle, all that, it's a bit on the lower end, but he still does a very good job with the recovery, and because of his strength, he easily wins the ball from opponents. Going into his traits, he has the high work rate and the long thrower trait. Transfer value as well, he is on the cheaper side, I would say, so getting his rank 5 is also an absolute must if you're going to run a car like this. Rank 5 and at least training 26. All right, guys, we're now going to move into our number 7, which is going to be a left back. Ladies and gentlemen, number 7 is going to be Lazarou. Absolutely skipped all of his previous versions, so I'm not sure his previous versions would be any good. So this is the only version I'm going to be speaking of, which is the 104, which is one of the higher rated card in game. I'm done. Cut the show. I'm done. Which is one of the higher rated cards in game right now. So let's get into it, man. So 4.5-star stamina, 3-star skills. I do feel like he's more of a defensive left back. Yeah, so going into his stats and what we are looking for. So this one, based on the stats, he has very good recovery rate. So he would probably be a hit and miss with some people just because of his height. He's very small. He's as small as Roberto Carlos, but Carlos is amazing as well. But his strength is very good, and his standing and sliding tackle are also very good. Also, the reason I'm also highlighting this card is because of the high work rate. He has the dive into tackle traits and the long passer. The only downside or thing that I have to worry about, that I have to tell you guys, would probably be his height and his in-game build, just because there are taller wingers out there. So the Ginola, the Henry, just those type of guys, the Elises, all these guys that are like over 6 foot who can absolutely take you on. But yeah, he doesn't look like a bad card, you guys. I did go ahead, I haven't used him at all, but I did go ahead and watch some of his gameplay from other content creators, and he doesn't seem too bad. So going into his transfer value, he is on the more of the expensive side because he is a Winter Wonder 104 rated card. Getting his rank 4 or rank 5 would be the best way to go. Now moving on to our number 6, which is going to be a right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 6 for right back is going to be Carlos Alberto. So this is currently the 101 overall version. I do believe he needs another card in the future. Maybe he's going to get one for the Team of the Year event. But yeah, this card has been absolutely brilliant, annoying to play against. I mean, less and less people are running him simply because this is the Hall of Legends version, and there are currently higher rated left and right backs in the games. So 4.5-star stamina, 3-star skills. Going into his attributes, the downside on this card would be his strength, but he makes that up with his speed, acceleration, and standing tackle. And yeah, so going into his traits as well, he does have the flare and avoid the weak foot trait. So high medium work rate, again, which is okay because his pace is, he has a lot of pace, and his recovery is not too bad. Going into his transfer value, he's a mid-range budget type of player, so getting his rank 4, preferably his rank 5, would be the best way to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to be moving into the number 6 for the left back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 6 for the left back is going to be none other than Roberto Carlos. Now, I do know he has a 103 anniversary version. You can also run with that version if you're not able to afford his 104. But I am preferably speaking for this 104 version, just because this 104 got the upgrades of all upgrades. He now has the 4-star skills, 5-star stamina. Going into his attribute, Carlos' biggest asset is not from his strength. As we can see, he is standing on 95, which is still pretty strong. It's from his ability to be just very fast, and his standing tackle, sliding tackle, and ability to recover. Another reason I'm also only speaking for this card, when we go into the traits, this is one of the only versions that has the high work rate. So due to the work rate increase on his defensive work rate, he is getting our number 6 spot. Okay, a downside on this card obviously will be his height. Another thing I can recommend you guys, please do not run 2 cards with the same height, so with the same small height. So if you're going to run Roberto Carlos as your left back, your right back has to be a bit taller, just because of corners. Those smaller players you have, or left or right backs, the smaller they are, the easier it is to concede corners. Okay, so going into his trades, he has the long shot taker. outside of the foot shot, powerful driven free kick, and long thrower. So he has really good traits, really good offensive traits actually, not so much defensive. Going into his traits, he's one of our more expensive cards, so getting his rank 4 or rank 5 would be the best way to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're now getting into our top 5. So for the top 5, we're going to be mixing it up a bit. So we're going to be starting our number 5 with our right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 5 for the right back is going to be none other than Cafu. Okay, so we got to give this card his flowers. Once again, another card that is pushing 6 foot, but not quite there yet. But this card, he's absolutely brilliant, especially for the Winter Wonders. So 4-star skills, 5-star stamina, absolutely insane card. Going into his attributes, not only does he have the pace, he has the strength, the standing tackle, the sliding tackle. This card is just absolutely amazing. A downside that I can see on this card will probably be the fact that he loses headers, again, just due to him being a little bit smaller, but he's still a very great card. Going into his traits, he has flair, early crosser, outside of the foot shot, and along with the high work rate. So not only is he offensive, he's also very defensive. Going into his transfer value, another expensive card, so getting his rank 4 or his rank 5 would be the best way to go. Now we're going to move into our number 5 for the left back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 5 for the left back is going to be Alphonso Davies. Okay, so there's a lot of controversy on this card being a winger, a left back, and whatnot. His pace is just incredible. Even if he is an offensive left back, due to his pace and his ability to just outrun a lot of players in this game, that's why he's getting the number 5 spot. Going into his attributes, defensively, yeah, you can see he's lacking a bit, even with the strength. But in game, you guys, because he's listed as over 6 foot, it's very hard for him to not recover. Like, he's super quick. 4.5-star stamina, 4-star skills. Standing tackle is brilliant, along with the slide tackle. He is very annoying to play against, especially if you're trying to outpace him. Going into his work rate, he does have the high medium, which is an increase in some of his previous cards, which I will only be speaking for this version of his card. I don't know if his other versions have high medium. I believe some of them have high low or something like that. He does have early crosser. He is an offensive left back. Going into his transfer value, he is one of we call this mid-range price now, so getting his rank 4 or his rank 5 would be the best way to go. Now moving on to our number 4 for the right backs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 4 for the right back is going to be Kyle Walker, the 103. So this is another universal card as well. So if you can't afford the 103, you can trickle down to his other versions. Either one of them works, just depending on your budget. Okay, so 4.5-star stamina and 3-star skills. Okay, so here we go. Going into his attributes, I know it shows he only has 98 strength, but trust me, you guys, this guy is a mental card. His standing tackle is his best trait. As you can see, it's one of the highest so far that we've seen on a lot of cards, along with his pace. So his recovery is very good. This version has the high work rate, so I believe majority of his other versions have high work rate. Only trait he has, however, is long thrower. Going into his transfer value, getting his rank 4 or rank 5 would be the best way to go. Okay, now we're going to be moving into our number 4 for our left backs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 4 for our left back. He is a bit of an odd card. I know a lot of you didn't see this one coming, but it's going to be Nuno Tavares. I've been really wanting to try out this card for certain reasons, but before we get into him, he does have the 4-star stamina and the 3-star skills. So I wish he had the 4.5, but he has the pace, he has the dribbling. Now, when it comes to the defending and the physical, that is where I believe he's slacking a little bit, but he's well over 6 foot, and his recovery looks very good. His standing and sliding tackle could be a bit higher. Now, the downside that I would say on this card, where he's a hit or miss, is when it comes to his awareness, and his marking is super duper low. He just looks really good to use, so he is going to be our number 4. Going into his traits, he has the high medium work rate, long thrower trait, and early crosser, so very offensive traits, along with having the 4-star weak foot to finish off those chances. If he had 4-star skills, that would have sealed the deal. He had early early crosser as well. Going into his transfer value, he's mid-range, very affordable. So getting his rank 4, preferably his rank 5 would be the best way to go. Now we're going into our number 3 for the right backs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 3 for our right back is going to be none other than the 105 Mycon. But one thing I do want to let you guys know, I have tried the 103 version of the Mycon and it left a bad taste in my mouth. But this 105, I believe it's the Trophy Titan Mycon, is absolutely brilliant. They did a couple changes with this Mycon that has really improved him a lot and made him a lot better to use, in my opinion. 4.5 star stamina, 3-star skills. Going into his attributes, he is well above 6 foot. His recovery is much better. Standing and sliding tackle and awareness are like his bread and butter. So he is a defensive right back, along with the 4-star weak foot, and his strength is also where he shines as much. Looking into his trait, the high work rate, okay, I think that's something they've changed on him. And then early crosser, long shot taker, and outside of the foot shot. So not only is he defensive, he's also very offensive. Going into his transfer value, now this is on the higher end of the spectrum just because he's a 105, but getting his rank 4 or his rank 5 would be the best way to go. Now going on to our number 3 for the left backs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 3 for left back is going to be Garvadio. Okay, so this card this winter, I know Garvadio is probably going to get a nominee card for the Team of the Year. If he doesn't get an Ultimate Team of the Year, he is going to get an Ultimate Team of the Year nominee. I already see it coming. If this card, this version, I currently use this version, but I use him as center back. So he can play center back, he can play left back. He's an absolute cheat code. And if you cannot afford this 102, you can also use his 98 rated version. There's not much to say about this card. He is very complete. He has it all. 4.5 star stamina, 3-star skills. He has speed. He has marking, standing tackle, awareness. He has strength. He has it all. This is one of the cards that has one of the best recovery currently in the game, and he's very meta. Okay, so going into his traits, he has the long passer, long shot taker, and power header, one of the only left or right backs with the power header trait. Yeah, and his work rate is also high. Okay, so that is very good. Going into his transfer value, he's very affordable, so getting his rank 5 is an absolute must. Like, there's literally no rank 4, just get his rank 5. And minimum training 26. All right, you guys, we're now going to move into our number 3 for the right backs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 3 for the right backs will be Javier Zanetti. Okay, so big improvements on this card as well. A lot of the reason a lot of these cards are coming back up is because of the work rate change. So yeah, now Zanetti is very usable, and this card looks absolutely brilliant. Okay, so with Zanetti, I've always called him the most defensive fullback in this game, but he has the 4-star weak foot, obviously, but 4.5 star stamina, 2-star skills, and then just going into his attributes, looking at the pace, he's very quick, and then his marking, standing tackle, and all that stuff is very good as well. One downside on the Zanetti card that I can say will be his physical stats. He's not too strong. Going into his traits, he does have the high work rate, which is the plus that we were looking for, and that just boosts him into being in our number 3 spot. And he's one of the right backs that has defensive traits, so he has the dive in the tackle and long thrower or long passer. Going into his transfer value, he is on the higher end of the spectrum, so getting his rank 4 or rank 5 would be the best way to go. Now moving on to our number 2 for the left backs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 2 for the left back is going to be Theo Hernandez. Now, there could be a debate on him being number 1 as well, which I'm down for. Okay, he could be number 1, he could be number 2. This card is just everywhere, and he's just annoying and brilliant just because of his height, his pace, his strength, and all that good stuff. So he does have the 5-star stamina, 4.5-star skills. Going into his attributes, that speed just literally mesmerizes me. And then he has strength, he has standing tackle, which is his best trait in this game, I believe. And yeah, so going into, or his best attribute in the game, going into his traits, he has the high work rate. I don't know if his previous version have high or high medium, but if you cannot afford the 103, yes, you can use his 99 rated, I believe is the ultimate team of the season as well. You can use that version. Majority of his cards are universal, so they work for everybody. He has the long thrower trait, long shot taker, and early crosser. Going into his transfer value, he he actually got a lot cheaper. I think it's due to overall reasons, but getting his rank 4, preferably his rank 5, would be the best way to go. All right, guys, we're now going to be moving into our number 2 for the right backs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 2 for right back, I'm going to give it to Jules Koundé. Brilliant card, you guys. So this was one of the cards before I even started using him. I was very hesitant to use him because I didn't know how he was going to perform. But 4.5-star stamina, 3-star skills. He is very meta. Going into his attributes, his sprint speed, acceleration, and just that standing tackle along with that strength. So I believe, like, you can see his standing tackle and marking, they're super high. One of his best traits in this game is that speed and recovery. He's so strong. Going into his traits, he does have the high work rate and the dive into tackle trait. Absolute beast of a monster. Going into his transfer value, this card, his rank 5, absolutely must. Okay, getting his rank 5. So if you can't afford this card, probably look for another right back on the list that you can afford, but his rank 5 is an absolute must. All right, you guys, we're now going to move into our number 1 for the left backs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the number 1, we're going to have the 104 Ferland Mendy and the 106 Zambrotta. Okay, so it was very hard to choose between these cards. Obviously, we can give them 1 and 2 or 2 and 1 or whatnot, but they're very similar cards. But I do feel like they both get the shout at the number 1 spot just because they're both very good cards. So yeah, with Zambrotta getting this upgraded version finally, he's been stuck on that HOL version for a very long time. Let's go over his stats really quick. 4.5-star stamina, 4-star skills. He has the pace, he has the defending, as you can see just looking at his stats. The reason he's getting number 1 with Mendy is that awareness and that standing tackle. They're very good. One thing I did notice about Zambrotta, however, when I used his lesser version, I believe it was the 99 HOL, don't quote me on that, it was his strength. He is not the strongest left back in the game, but with this increase in just his defensive capabilities, I do feel like that boosts him a lot to be one of the better ones. He does have the high medium, so that could put him a little bit under Mendy just because of his work rate being that, but just his pace and just, yeah, that awareness was the one that got me. And then dive into tackle traits and launch shot taker. Also, he has both defensive and offensive traits. Going into his transfer value, he is our highest rated left back in the game currently, so of course he's going to be very expensive, but getting his rank 4 or his rank 5 would be the best way to go. All right, now going into our number 1 for another number 1 for our left back position, it is Ferland Mendy. This is the card that I've been saying he's the best. Every time he gets a new version, he's very universal, so if you cannot afford the 104, you can trickle down and use his other versions, which I have also used his previous versions, and even his base version. If you use a maxed rank, if you're just starting out this game, it's good as well. So 5-star stamina, 4-star skills. Going into his defensive stats, again, his marking would be the downside, so that's why I have him as Zambrotta number 1, because they both have highs and lows. They both have things that they're better than with the other one. So with this one, his marking's a lot lower, standing tackle awareness is high up there, but in game he's a mental monster. His recovery is very good. Going into his traits, he does have the high work rate, and then he doesn't have any other traits or attributes. Going into his transfer value, also he's a bit cheaper because he is a 104, but getting his rank 4, preferably his rank 5, would be the best way to go. Now we're going to be moving into our number 1 for the right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 1 for the right back to me is still going to be Lilian Thuram, the 103, I believe is the anniversary. Yes, the 103 anniversary version. Now obviously he does have a 106 center back or 107 center back version. Please do not ask me if you can run a 107 center back version at right back. That will be completely up to you. It's your team, do whatever you want. I'm only speaking for the right back version. Obviously the secondary position for his center back version is right back, so play him there if you want. Stamina wise, he has the 4.5-star stamina, 3-star skills. Again, his overall is 103, but overall really doesn't matter when it comes to head. Going into his attributes, he's just a defensive monster. Okay, so this card has one of the higher standing tackles as well, awareness and marking, and his strength is one of the most lethal ones in the game. Great strength and acceleration. Going into his traits, he does have the medium high work rate and dive into tackle, so he is a defensive monster when it comes to the right back position, well over 6 foot. Going into his transfer value, he is a bit on the medium range price. Yes, this is not medium range, so getting his rank 5, you can get his rank 4, but preferably his rank 5 would be the best way to go. All right, you guys, so I did have one honorable mention, and that was for the right back position. I do feel like this card also definitely deserves a shout, and he's an amazing right back as well. Right back Carlos Puyol. Now, looking at his stats in general, it is meta to play this right back card currently at center back. Very, very meta. His standing tackle is one of the best in game. Also, playing him at right back, he does very, very well. Anniversary 102 Carlos Puyol, 4.5-star stamina, 2-star skills. Going into his attributes, his best attributes comes from his defense, okay, and his recovery. Puyol still has one of the best recovery in game to this rate, and then just looking at his marking, standing tackle awareness, and all that good stuff, along with his strength and his recovery is just mental still. Going into his traits, he also has the medium high work rate, dives into tackle, and power header as well. So one of the only right backs that has power header, and then Garvadio is the other one for the left backs. Going into his transfer value, very affordable card. So if you are going to get a card like this, I would recommend getting his rank 5. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be our updated list for our fullbacks position. If you guys do enjoy videos like this, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. We are on our road to 14K subs. Okay, and if you do enjoy content like this, make sure to click this video here.